I've always wanted to know, can I make it to the Desert Festival in year 1? I've simply watched this festival pass me by way too many times in year 1, and I'm not going to let it happen again. Or at least that's the goal. And yeah, I'm gonna attempt to do this with the community center. I might be getting in over my head, but if times do get desperate, and I wouldn't put it past me for that to happen, I will resort to Joja. In this economy, beggars can't be choosers. Right away though, I knew to pick the Riverlands farm. I'll be using that fish smoker to my advantage, and I'll be surprised if the fish smoker is not smoked by the end of this. But my plan is simple: farm, fish, and mine as much as I can, but perhaps with a larger emphasis on fishing than the other two skills. Since the Desert Festival kicks off on spring 15th, time is of the essence. Luckily, the festival is not a one and done deal, so if I don't make it on the 15th, I can shoot for the 16th or 17th any day beyond that, and I'm toast. Smoked to a crisp, just like all those fish I intend to fry. I plan to do the spring forage bundle, spring crop bundle, construction bundle, and either the fish pot or mines bundle. It's really just a toss up, and then I'll need 42,500 gold in around 2 weeks. I think I believe in myself. I mean, if I don't, who else is crazy enough to? In any case, it's time to stop wasting what little time I have and get down to business, which was of course planting parsnips. It is a mandatory step for any farm that offers the parsnip seeds at the start. I mean, they are free after all. How could I resist? I made sure not to just plant parsnips, but also plant one of every crop needed for the community center and also a healthy dose of extra potatoes. Then my options for how to fill the rest of the day were limited since Willie so rudely wasn't in town and I didn't have a reliable source of energy. So I defaulted to foraging around town. I mean, honestly, you can never really go wrong with foraging. And with the community center on my mind, I did forage 3 of the 4 spring forageables needed. I just need that pesky leaf. But there was no time to really continue my foraging efforts on the second because Willie was in town. He simply talks way too much, so I skipped his cutscene. Sorry, Willie, but like I said before, I'm on a time crunch. And to be honest, Willie, if you really wanted me to listen, maybe you should have been here when I moved in. With my fishing rod safely secured, I dashed on over to the mountain lake and set up camp at my favorite fishing spot. I fished the entire day and night away, which I continued into the next day. You can always count on the 3rd to be a rain day, so I knew I wanted to set my sights on potentially catching a catfish, but I could quickly tell my luck was not good this day, but I continued to fish anyway. I mean, I didn't have a ton of other options of things to do. At least the rain was there to comfort me when I let the catfish slip through my tear-soaked fingers. However, bad luck had nothing on me and my skills because just when I had lost all hope for the day, I caught a single catfish. I know, the game might as well unlock the desert for me with my track record, am I right? Only the crow I woke up to the next day had other plans. I can't craft a scarecrow yet because I've been focusing on fishing. Stealing from someone when they're down, I see how it is. I'm just saying that one crop could be the difference between me and a sweet vacation to the Calico Desert. Anyway, while I was really envisioning smoking a certain bird, I settled for smoking some fish instead. And then I was not above going through all the trash before picking up some forage at the beach for the crab pot bundle. Having had enough of a break from fishing, I stopped back at home before sprinting back to my mountain lake fishing spot, trying to net some of the more valuable fish in the spring season. As the 5th rolled around, it was finally time to trigger the community center cutscene. I skipped through it and then quickly set my sights for the day on the mines. I need both a good stash of coal and a good stash of collectibles for the boiler room bundles. I managed to make it down to level 15. Well, okay, I actually did make it down to level 19, but then I got stuck with the spiral floor, so I was doomed to not reach level 20, even though I was so close. And I fully blame the spiral floor for making me pass out. At least I could go on over and talk to the wizard when I woke up from that less than resting sleep. During my time around town, I had managed to pick up a leek, so I gathered all my spring forage and didn't hesitate to finish off the spring forage bundle. And then it was right back to the mines. I could buy coal for my smoking endeavors, but coal is quite expensive this early in the game, at 150 gold. Of course, if I smoke the right fish, they'd still net a profit, but I don't want to spend any money I don't have to. Not when I'm getting closer and closer to the festival with each passing day. I managed to make it another 15 levels down to level 30 before heading back home for the night. With all my beach finds safely pocketed, I really did think I was about to finish the crab pot bundle, but I came up empty-handed. A bit disappointed, but nothing a good smoking session couldn't fix. I needed to smoke the fish I had, but I also dabbled with fishing on my farm to pass the time. Halting my smoking efforts, I headed back to the mines and only made it to level 37 before I ran out of energy. Since it was still fairly early in the day, I headed on over to the saloon and stocked up on some salads before plunging right back into the mines, making it all the way down to level 40. My weak pickaxe is starting to slow me down, but an upgrade is just not in the budget. But even if it wasn't in the budget still needs to grow, so I went back home and smoked more of the fish I had piled in my chest. Looks like I'll need to focus more of my efforts on fishing, and yeah, I realize right about now that I completely forgot about the construction bundle. I had initially planned to complete it, but I'm pretty sure I trashed the hardwood I found in the mines, and it's feeling too risky for an axe upgrade. I usually play on the forest farm, so I had just been thinking it would be one upgrade, but no, I would need an iron axe to cut through those heftier logs. So I may have to abandon my plan of completing the construction bundle. While I may have had to abandon that idea, I did not have to abandon my farming duties. So I made sure to replant more crops on the 9th, and then I did a quick forage and trash run, where I did manage to find a cockle at the beach, which meant I could finally finish off the crab pot bundle. I scurried on over to the community center to finish off that bundle before taking my fish smoker with me to the mountains so I could fish and smoke at the same time. Talk about efficiency. I didn't have time to waste, so this part seemed essential. My tiny backpack space was making things a little tricky. It didn't help I kind of trapped myself in on accident, but if I could go back in time, I definitely would have crafted a chest and placed it up here in the mountains for any extra fish and treasure I found. I let myself pass out so I didn't have to worry about messing with my full inventory, and it really is a good thing I did because I did manage to reach level 5 in fishing, so my fish are now worth 25% more. On the 10th, I tended to my crops before hitting up the mine, collecting a lot of goodies along the way. I would have loved a backpack upgrade for both the mines and fishing, but again, it just wasn't in the budget. Even with my weak pickaxe, I still managed to make it down to level 50. And I wasn't lying when I said I collected a lot, because I was able to finish the Adventurer's Bundle, and I forgot about the bulletin board. The vault room is so close, but still off limits, so I'll need to finish off one more bundle. I do have one of every crop planted or already grown and waiting in my chest, but I can also try and finish the blacksmith bundle. We'll see which one I finish first. Woo! My potatoes were ready for harvest, and I decided on my way to buy more seeds, I would stop at Clint's just to see if he was selling gold ore. For some reason, I had convinced myself he only sells that ore once you've unlocked it in the mines or through other means like fishing, but no, he was just selling gold ore, like the fool he is. So I bought 5, and I guess the blacksmith bundle will be the last one I complete. After that surprising shop visit with Clint, I went to buy more seeds at Pierre's and opted not to plant more potatoes since they do take 6 days, and the desert festival sadly is in 5. I hope I'll have enough money to make it there. Start crossing your fingers. To make sure I can get there, I headed on up to the mountain lake to continue my fishing and smoking efforts. I managed to smoke and catch quite a few fish. I ended the night with 5k in profits. I think if I keep up this pace, I should be good enough then to make it to the desert festival. I just love being given money just for being a woman. Couldn't hurt to be giving even more money. Stardew Dad, if you're watching this, maybe slip 1k instead of 500 gold next time. In other news, my gold bar was ready to go, so I finished off the blacksmith bundle and then ran like my life depended on it to the mountain lake to fish all my anxieties away. It must have been a good luck day. I can't confidently confirm or deny because I just never check my luck, as I do think it's kind of fun to just see what the day brings. And I was feeling especially lucky because I caught an insane amount of largemouth bass. I'm not complaining because it is my fish of choice in the mountains, but the string of largemouth bass is going to spoil me and I will be sorely disappointed when I fish again and I'm left with useless carps. But hey, at least Demetrius recognized my money-making milestones and offered to set up my cave for me. I opted for mushrooms since they more consistently produce, but it's not like this decision really matters a whole ton when the desert festival is like 2 days away. So it was right back to the mountain lake, and I was really hoping for a repeat of yesterday. But I wasn't so lucky. I did still catch a decent amount of largemouth bass, but not quite as many as I caught the other day. And I could tell my luck just wasn't as good because there was almost no treasure chests, which was a shame because I was able to keep up my coal stash yesterday since I kept fishing up coal in those treasure chests. And looks like I ended up running out of coal completely. At the worst possible time. I need to fish to make more money, but I also need coal to smoke the fish, so they're worth a decent amount more. As the 14th ambushed me, I was not feeling a 15th day finish in my sights, but I still believe I can make it to the desert festival, so time to hustle. I did fork over the money for the 25k bundle and then the 5k bundle. I spent what money I did have left on some coal since I didn't want to waste any of my precious time in the mines. And just because I more than likely won't make it there the first day of the festival doesn't mean I won't try my hardest to get there the 16th. Thankfully, this day was more lucky for me since I was able to fish up a little bit of coal while I fished and smoked at the mountain lake, which meant I didn't run out of coal. I'll gladly take this luck, but there just wasn't as many largemouth bass as I would have liked to see. But it was a decent day of fishing nonetheless. Day 15 is a little sad. I could have been relaxing at the desert festival, but I've got money to make, so I harvested all my crops and sold them off to Pierre. I don't even care if he takes credit for my work. I need the money. I then hurried on over to buy the 2500 bundle and then hurried back to Pierre's to sell the cakes only to be about 3k short of the last 10k bundle. I still believed in myself, so I gathered all my fish I had left to smoke and paid Willie a visit. But it wouldn't have been enough to reach my 10k goal, so I went up to the mountain lake and fished and smoked like a mad woman. I made sure to pause my efforts so I'd be able to make it back to Willie's before he closed. And oh, I didn't know he doesn't buy smoked fish, but I guess it makes sense since it is technically an artisan good when you smoke it. But oh, it doesn't even matter because I sold the rest of my raw fish and barely, just barely hit 10k. The end is in sight. I flew on over to the community center, finishing off the 10k bundle and the vault room. The desert festival will be mine! Just look how beautiful the site of the bus being repaired is. Okay, rude. First day on the job, and Pam is a no-show. I guess I just gotta drive the bus myself then. Joke's on all of you because Pixel Me doesn't know how to drive and jokes aside, look how glorious the desert festival is. And yeah, I got here way too early because there's almost nothing to do. I mean, it makes sense that you can get there this early for the mines, but I'm still supporting a weak pickaxe and sword. The mines are no place for me, okay? And maybe this is why it's not really a festival you should go to in your first year. But I'm here, so I might as well get my free cactus and outfit change. And okay, Emily, I see you. I don't hate what Emily's put me in. Usually, she wants me to look like the laughingstock of both the Calico Desert and Stardew Valley. But I don't know what else to do because I'm broke and unskilled. But since I'm here, I might as well pay the mines a visit. And oh, this is really painful. It takes 5 hits to break a rock. I am not prepared at all, so I think it's time to walk into the light. Oh, hi Harvey. See, I was so broke, nothing was taken away from me. I mean, it's almost like someone this early on in gameplay was not built for this festival. Might as well just go back to the mines anyway. I want to see if I'll be waking up to Harvey again. And yeah, Harvey's got my back while also stealing it from me this time. I see how it is. Once I have something of use, you won't hesitate to take it from me, but I can't say I don't respect it. Keep on, Harvey. Anyway, it was fun to try and hustle my way to the desert festival. I mean, to be honest, it's probably not worth it unless you're absolutely cracked and can manage the mines with that week of tools and weapons. But I am no such person, so I will stick to skipping the desert festival in year 1. And with that, good day and good night. Thank you so much for watching, subscribe if you dare, and stay tuned for similar videos in the future. Bye!